Dude, what? How could you be Team Raja? Seriously?
Well, I'm a dynasty, man. That's easy.
Come on.
You're a fuck up the choreography and lie about your dance training, man, is what you are.
Okay, she didn't lie. Lying.
Oh,
strong.
Yeah. Okay.
There's 2 other Davenports.
Guys, stop whatever you're doing. We have to change this week's episode.
Wait, what?
I found a magic bottle.
Wait, you found a magic bottle?
Magic bottle, yes. So a few nights ago, I noticed all these empty bottles outside of Heath's room, and I was like, that's weird. I never even heard of this kind of juice. So I go to the store, I buy some more, and when I came back in the morning, it was gone. Guys, I have put this juice outside of Heath's room 3 nights in a row, and every morning when I wake up, the juice has disappeared.
No. Eli, what was this juice? Like, what was it called?
It's called rum or room. I think it's supposed to be like a play on yum. Like it's a tasty.
Eli, let me just stop you there. That
Cecil.
That is not a bad idea for a show. Good job, buddy.
Good job there.
Yeah, magic.
Bud, it's good.
Yep. You just keep filling it, man. It's a magic bottle. That's awesome.
It's
I have no
crazy.
idea.
He doesn't know. He watched.
Get scotch juice. Maybe try.
Hello, and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet. That's how it works now. I'm Tom, and I'll be regretting most of my life's choices in no particular order, but I'm not alone in writing my own personal tragedy. Joining me today are 3 men whose personal ring of hell has been set aside since birth: Cecil, Eli, and Heath.
It's not a ring, Tom. It's not a ring. It's a wedding band.
I do whatever I want every day. It's awesome.
I'm not sure Cheez-Its is whatever you want. Is Cheez-Its just whatever you want?
Cheez-Its are amazing. How many did you want? I have however many I want. Nobody says anything. It's the best.
Goes to Costco, pretends he works for a summer camp, no questions asked. The fucking best.
I ruined my appetite for more Cheez-Its. Nobody says shit.
Nobody says anything to you, but about you is different.
Yeah,
That's a little...
Don't care.
All right. All right. Well, not terribly notably absent today is Noah, who is busily, excavating an ancient Etruscan burial ground or whatever. So he'll be back next week to bore us with the details of which fucking badger brush works best on 4,000-year-old bone fragments. And while we all wait with bated breath to find that out, let's stop for just a moment to thank our patrons.
Actually, Tom, I got back early, so I am here.
And I still stand by what I said. So here we go.
Not awkward. Okay. I thought it'd be awkward. It wasn't.
No, not awkward
Like the
at all.
Cheez-Its
Let's
thing.
not.
You got to power through.
Awkward for one of us.
All right. Thank you, patrons. Remember, when you woke up this morning, patrons, you mattered. And if you want to matter, hang out with us until the end of the show for a chance for us to care that you're listening. All right, with that passive-aggressive dig out of the way, tell us, Eli, buddy, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Well, thanks to patron Christian, we'll be talking about the Salish Sea human foot discoveries.
Okay, all right. Sounds...
Feels like we knew about those before the Salish. Whatever, go ahead.
We were all just infants, like laying in our crib. We're like, holy shit, I have feet? This is amazing.
All right, sounds weirdly fetishy. So, I'm definitely in. I'm in. So, Cecil, you read the article. Are you ready to jump right in and kick some knowledge our way?
I am ready to dive in feet first, Tom.
That's a great plan, but clench your cheeks if it's over 20 feet. Where does the story begin, bud?
Can't unclench my cheeks, Tom. Because of the enormous girth I carry around. They're constantly clenched.
That's for a very special episode of Citation Needed.
So, Tom, before we get to the meat of the story, we're going to need a pick around the bone a little first. So the Salish Sea is a channel of water that basically surrounds Vancouver Island, or as I like to call it, New York West, although presumably there's more trees, less garbage, and better pizza.
I call bullshit.
Okay.
Everywhere has less garbage than New York, Cecil. That's not useful signifier.
All right, wait. Still very confused. With less garbage, doesn't that mean there's also less pizza? So,
Okay, we could end this whole bitter dispute if you Chicagoans would just call your thing lasagna loaf or tomato cake or something like that.
Bread bowl already has a word.
Yeah.
Bread bowl.
Yeah, there you go. And then you can stop pretending that you don't love New York's amazing pizza and garbage ramparts.
It's adorable that it's like, oh, we're a rival of New York. Where it's, no, you're not. Whatever. Fuck you.
now when you win, you're no longer the rival.
You're not even a
Fine.
silver. You don't get.
Hold
You
on,
get nothing.
I could barely hear you from Cincinnati. What did you say again?
You guys want some chili with green jello on it? Huh?
That would be so much better than the fucking chili they have.
You want to watch two lesbians get a divorce? Let's do this thing. Come on. Cincinnati style.
That would be so much better than the chili they have.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Skyline chili tastes like suicide. It's just exactly what it tastes like. And cinnamon, weirdly, and cinnamon.
Tastes amazing.
Tastes like swing state.
So Puget Sound makes up the southern part of the Salish Sea, and it's a waterway that connects Seattle with the Pacific Ocean. The northern body of water is the Strait of Georgia, and the western part of the sea is the Strait of Juan de Fuca. The other port cities include Vancouver, Tacoma, Bellingham, Port Angeles, and Victoria.
Yeah, and by the way, Heath had a really funny comment here, but then he erased it in protest of Cecil not using an Oxford comma in that list.
Is there a city called Port Angeles and Victoria? That's a weird name for a city.
Yeah, it's-
That's dumb.
It's like Bosnia and Herzegovina kind of thing.
The sea itself is
Trinidad and
about
Tobago.
18,000 square kilometers, which is a little bigger than Lake Ontario, the runt of the Great Lakes litter. The Salish Sea is actually a pretty recent term for this body of water, coined in 1988 by marine biologist and Etruscan enthusiast Bert Weber. He, quote, created the name for the combined waters in the region with the intention to complement the names Georgia Strait, Puget Sound, and Strait of Juan de Fuca, not replace them, end quote. And to raise awareness of this ecosystem, an ecosystem that, we will find out in a moment here, has a foot fetish.
Interesting. You walk onto a beach and the sand is like, exfoliate the fuck out of that epidermis. Any used socks? Any used socks? Come on.
Anyway, to spice things up a bit, I wanted to read a particularly sad entry from the Salish Sea wiki page. Quote, the plight of the southern resident orca in the Salish Sea has attracted global attention as these fish-eating whales are starving due to low salmon populations. Video footage showed an orca named Telequa who carried her dead calf on her head for more than 1,000 miles over 17 days before parting with it, end quote.
That's rough. I want to hear that squeak fight on the 17th day, though. That'd be weird.
Why aren't we feeling sorry for the fucking salmon?
Ah, humans, the only animal to film a starving creature carrying its dead young on its head without helping. Go us, humans. Go us.
Great, Cecil. We're all sad now. No, except me, because you know that whale was just fucking showing off for attention. Oh, look at me. My baby's dead. Sad face whale. Blah, blah, blah. My grief went viral. Find me on GoFundMe. Real fucking sad. Call me when your kids live and you have to get up every morning on every Saturday forever. Lucky fucking whale. I may have steered us a little off course. That was all right. My bad, Cecil, buddy. All right, now we know where and what the Salish Sea is. I'm not regretting my whole life. Tell us about these discoveries, man. Want to know a little more?
Not so fast. Not so fast. We're going to cover this, but to give some perspective, I wanted to talk about other weird shit that has washed ashore from the ocean.
You're doing this on Poipus, aren't you?
Porpoise.
Well, I can't rule that out, Tom.
Yes.
So I found several oddities that have washed ashore. all over the world. I found them conveniently bundled in a mental floss article. So let's start with the sentimental. The year's 2012, and in the distant and terrible lands of New Jersey, a stack of love letters washes ashore.
I don't like messages in a bottle. I don't.
These letters are from 70 years prior and were sent during World War II. They were love letters between a gentleman in the military and a woman back home, and they spanned 5 years from 1942 until 1947. The thing is that no one's really sure where the letters came from.
Yeah, I'm going to guess the Western front.
They gave the letters to the niece of the people involved, and at one point they mentioned that the lady who they're addressed to is still alive. She's 91 and in a nursing home, so she has no idea where her pudding cup is, let alone how these letters got in the drink.
He didn't come to brunch with her shitty friends. That's how they ended up.
I love they washed up on the Jersey Shore. I'm just trying to imagine like a Jersey Shore love letter. Like, oh, hey, you're so beautiful. Your tits, they're like two boobs that none of my buddies even believe are fake. You know, like when we smush, I come so fast because I've been dreaming of your hyperextended, puckered asshole, duck lip smile all wake. You're the only girl I loved all day.
Okay. People in Jersey don't know the word hyperextended, Tom. That's a ridiculous exaggeration.
So next, in 2011, there was a woman from Hampshire, England, Margaret Wells. And well, she had someone break into her house and steal a life-size ET replica. She had it because her daughter had built it as part of a stage and makeup class. Likely story, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly. Thank
All
you.
right. Funny coincidence. It's also the third best-selling real doll. So, Heath.
Yeah, second is Yoda, which is weird. Anyway.
Yeah, you would have thought the one with the magic finger would outsell Yoda.
Nah, Yoda can
My
get it.
belly's lighting up. What's going on?
You could choke fuck Yoda. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yoda's going to put it down.
So, not sure what happened, but a person's walking by the beach and saw it on the shore and then called the authorities. That had to be a weird 9/11 call, by the way. Anyway, Miss Wells went to pick up the doll. And my favorite part is the quote from Margaret here. Quote, I always knew E.T. would come home. End quote. Jesus.
I'm just so confused by this, though. So somebody saw that ET replica and they were like, I'm going to steal that thing and fuck it in a boat. That's happening.
Yes.
Spoiler alert, that's the reason for 100% of this episode.
Oh, shit.
All right, but the weirdest part of this story is that someone reported this discovery to the authorities, right? I mean, y'all weren't doing anything, were you?
Yeah. In 2011, a tsunami killed almost 16,000 people and did about $300 billion in damage to the Japanese coastline. A survivor of that tsunami had lost his home and 3 members of his family. He also lost a van down by the river he was using as a storage shed. About a year later, that van washed ashore in British Columbia over 3,000 miles away. Inside was his Harley Davidson. Harley tracked down the owner and transported it back to Japan and repaired it for him.
By the way, while we're here with the whole Harley company, you want us to build you guys a nuclear reactor that's like a giant motorcycle or something? What do you want to do? Because that'd be way safer than what you got going right now. I got to be honest.
Right.
I just love the idea of them showing up with a bike and him being like, did you find anything of my family?
New bike. Huh? How great is that? Remember that bike? Gotcha. Bike. Vroom, vroom. That's how it sounds. Your family's dead.
So there's a story about a couple kids playing on the beach in Florida in 1896. They stumble across a big ass
Chaleflente.
Carcass. And
Still.
they think it's a whale. Other people think it's an octopus. And wacky 1900s cryptozoologists think it's some kind of monster. And they wind up calling it St. Augustine's monster because either the cryptozoologists won out the naming rights or they just figured St. Augustine's whale is a boring name.
Well, actually, that name's already taken. Augustine was fucking hung.
In any case, they cut off samples of this thing and they sent it around. And The "it's an octopus, no, it's a whale" chant lasts about 100 years until we finally cared enough to have it tested in a modern lab in 2004. It was a whale. So now that I think about it, it really isn't that strange a thing to be washed ashore because whales really aren't known for being on land and alive. So I guess.
But when you think about it, isn't this really about the friends we made along the way?
Another entry in the article is also something you'd think you'd find in the sea. Just attached to something, a giant eyeball. In 2012, again in Florida, a giant eye washes ashore. And this is like a softball-sized eye. So it's pretty big. No mention on whether or not they threw the old eye around the horn before bringing it into wildlife officials, but the eye was of a very large swordfish.
Okay, so another ocean thing. I don't know. Like stuff in the middle ends up on the sides sometimes. Like I don't understand. This is a weird list from Mental Floss. Like what? At number 3, hydrogen hydroxide was found.
Well, and again, the weirdest thing is that it was reported, right? Like somebody's just like, "Hey, has any really big fellers gone missing?"
See, Cecil, this is why we lie. You got to be like, you know what else washed up? A baseball diamond. What? Now you got him.
You know that's not a kind of diamond, right?
No, don't worry, Cecil. I understand, and I got you. All those in favor of more flotsam tales, say aye.
Okay.
Aye.
The ayes
Three
have
best friends. Look at us.
I prefer Jetsam.
The eyes have it. In 1992, a shipping container accidentally dropped 29,000 rubber ducks into the ocean.
Awesome.
The
Yep.
ship,
Awesome.
This is amazing. The ship left Hong Kong and lost the ducks somewhere in its journey across the Pacific Ocean. The ducks have traveled all over the world, and some have wound up 17,000 miles from where they started.
They should drop like a bunch of Ernie dolls from Sesame Street and see what happens.
These dolls have been found in Australia, Hawaii, South America, Western and Eastern United States, and the UK. They even wrote a book about it called Moby Duck.
Aw, historically accurate shit tits.
Does anybody at all really think that was an accident?
No.
You're just like on the boat. You're like,
No.
what's in that crate? Rubber ducks? I know I'm getting fired up. Hand me a crowbar. Here we go. Fuck it.
In 2011, a Navy training mine washed ashore, again in Florida.
Training
People flipped out when a 5-foot-long mine was discovered. They called the police. The police, of course, evacuated the beach and called the Navy. They told the public not to worry about it. It was inert and had come from an offshore training site.
Yeah, cool. Maybe we label those from now on. Not a real bomb.
Right.
Really big letters.
So then if you make a bomb, would you just write not a real bomb on it? Just like, gotcha.
Don't say,
Yeah,
now
good
I
call.
can't do my plan. Great.
You'd use a special font.
Comic Sans.
Webdings.
I love the idea, though, of a guy like walking up past the police lines and just grabbing this thing and walking away like he's taking out trash cans. You know? He's like, whatever, man.
Oh, so we have giant pretend mines that occasionally come unmoored and float randomly about the Atlantic. Hard to see how that goes wrong.
Yeah, no kidding. 2011 was a banner year when it came to shit washing up. 100 World War II bombs came ashore in Hampshire again.
What?
No word if that ET replica was riding one. In any case, they were live fucking bombs, and they had to get the British Navy out there to detonate them.
Okay. I mean, I get they had to use the Navy. I feel like they could have found some Nazis to deal with that to make it fair. like a make them smoke the whole bag type of thing. Like, we could send you some next time. We can have some bomb Nazis over there for you.
This blew me away. Like, I had no idea bombs floated. Like, I'm picturing God desperately trying to flush the ocean. Like, gotta get them to go down. People are coming anyway. Why do you use the guest ocean now? Stupid.
Something that washes up from the ocean that's basically a gross-ass golden ticket is ambergris. This is a substance that's produced in a whale's intestines, and then it's vomited up. I guess it smells terrible, so we decided to use it in expensive perfumes. The stuff acts like a fixer for the perfume, affixing the scent to the skin for a longer period of time. In any case, this stuff is worth a fortune. One person found a 6-pound clump of it, and it was worth $180,000.
How does that happen?
Damn.
Somebody's like, all right, well, this perfume is fading way too fast. I've got an idea.
Yeah.
I will need a whale and some Jaeger, apparently.
Okay, great. The scent is definitely not fading anymore, but neither are the whale vomit undertones.
Yet another in the long line of somebody did that first things for me to wonder about when I'm trying to sleep, right?
So speaking of shit that's worth a fortune, in May of 2015, a 66-pound bundle of cocaine washed ashore in Galveston, Texas. I guess finding quantities of drugs washing ashore is also a somewhat common occurrence, but just not in a bundle that big. They wind up in the water when a drug boat capsizes or when the traffickers throw the drugs overboard to avoid getting caught with them.
Yeah, but you know whoever turned that in did not get their $8,976,000 worth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they're on the phone with a 911 operator and they're like, well, how big a bundle is it? And he's like, how quick are you guys going to get here? Far away.
Great. Awesome. Cecil, now we all have to help Heath move to Galveston. So
It makes the perfume stay on my skin. Whatever.
What other delights does the sea hold for us, Cecil?
This is amazing. In Siberia, 2018, a fisherman found not one, not two, but 54 severed hands on the shore at his popular fishing spot. There were initially rumors that this was a crazed killer's collection or that the Russian mob had a hand chopping spree, but it turned out the local forensic lab had lost a bag of hands, I guess. These hands were kept as a way of identifying people, and then they were,
What?
quote, improperly disposed of, end quote.
All right, we keep losing track of these dead bodies. What if we chop off their hands, roll with me, and then we match up the hand with the corpse if we get them mixed up as a new system?
Well, we could also just save the fingerprints. That would.
No. The fingertips are too small. We'll lose them. Hands. We're doing
No, I
hands.
said prints, not tips.
It's too late. We already agreed on hands.
Guy walks up, he's like, which body is this? He pulls out a giant ring full of hands, like a key ring. And he's like, flipping through it. Like, no, that's
janitor
not it.
ring?
No, that's not it. Yeah.
Eastern European guy, give 1 second. I find hand.
All right, so finally, a shipping container filled with Lego bricks was lost at sea, and 4.8 million Lego pieces were dumped in the ocean in 1997, and they've been found in England, Wales, and Ireland.
Scientists confirmed that of the 4.8 million pieces, not one of them was the one they needed. Damn it! Where?
And each one of those 4.8 million was found by a parent trying to walk on the beach late at night looking for the goddamn bathroom.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, as we'll learn eventually, there are human feet floating around in that ocean. That is fucking cruel. BP has nothing on these assholes.
Well, now that we have a firm footing, we can go to break and we can go to break with a clean cut and come back and talk about the world's largest foot bath.
Hey, guys, I was running tests on the Carson case. Can I use one of the hands?
One of the hands? The hands?
Yeah. From the bag, big bag of hands that we have. It's our system for identifying stuff.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think that's a great idea. So yeah, probably it's best to just not run that test.
Okay. What's not a good idea? I didn't even say my idea yet.
Yeah, but the Carson case.
Yeah, right. The Carson case, really? No, just try something else.
It says something else, something different thing.
No, it's really only.
Jesus, what is
really
with you and the hands, dude? It's always hands. All you do is need hands out of the big bag of hands. Right?
Yeah, seriously, man, you're obsessed with the fucking bag of hands. It's like you were working here one night and then you got horny and so you fucked that bag of hands. But that was amazing. So you brought Frank here at night to show him. And then the bag got filled with too much cum. And then you threw it away. That's probably
you are so
you did
like that.
Yeah, that is That's what I'm like?
Honestly, yeah,
What?
you are kind of like that. So
Okay. So, you guys fuck a bag of hands and throw it in the ocean?
yeah.
I mean, it was like
Yeah.
crowd surfing with just your penis. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that hit a little too close to home, so let's never think about it again or attempt to run for public office. That ship has
That's
sailed.
already out.
Cecil,
Already
buddy, I
out.
believe you were telling a story of severed feet to go with the Serbian hand job we all just endured. That's
So there have been at least 20 detached feet that have washed ashore in the Salish Sea in a 12-year time period.
Detached ones. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, the Jersey Shore had way more in that period, but mostly attached. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
I love that you're hedging your bets with that at least.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go through every one, but I'll mention a number of them. Starting in 2007 in August, a girl was visiting Jebediah Island, reaches down, grabs a shoe, a size 12 Adidas to be exact. She sees there's a sock inside, opens that,
Why?
finds a man's right foot. The shoe was made in 2003, and the remains were identified as a man who went missing, who also was suffering from depression.
Okay. What's the winning scenario she was hoping for when she checked that?
Yeah, right?
Gold inside the shoe? Fucking whale vomit? What? Like, I don't understand. There's no win.
I don't even know why she's probably be fucking depressed too if I lost my foot. Poor guy.
So then in August of the following year, a size 12 Reebok washed up on Gaboria Island, and it was found by a couple, which probably were in date night.
Yeah, or made date night amazing. Right, couple.
This foot was deemed to have disarticulated due to decay. The shoe was a worldwide model that was popular around 3 years prior in 2004, but it was primarily sold in North America. This foot has since gone unclaimed.
So normally some guy shows up and is like, fuck, yeah, no, that's totally mine. I knew something was weird. I've been walking in circles. That's my foot.
Well, the prince has to come up and be like, all right, let me check. We'll find out.
This is embarrassing. You guys have no idea how many questions I get about this.
Is anybody else picturing like a barrel full of like foot-filled shoes in the lost and found at the beach, just rummaging through like...
Some girl's looking for her engagement ring. No. It's just feet, lady. Okay, look again. You find it? No? Someone stole that?
Like a take a penny, leave a penny.
Take a piggy, leave a piggy. That makes sense. Okay.
Some asshole walks away with 3 feet. Really?
There would be even no need for that.
So 6 months later, in February of 2008, a size 11 Nike was found on Valdez Island. The shoe was of a type sold in the United States and Canada in 2003. They were able to determine the owner of this foot. The wiki says, quote, the remains were identified as a 21-year-old man reported missing 4 years prior, whose death is considered not suspicious, indicating either misadventure or suicide.
Not suspicious? It was one of those mundane missing person foot chopping scenarios.
Later that same year in June, 2 hikers found the man's right foot floating in the water on a different island.
These all seem pretty commonplace. Are feet particularly severable?
I'll get to it later.
Aligned with determination and in the right embassy, everything is severable.
On Kirkland Island in May of that same year, a woman's right foot, blue and white New Balance shoe was found. Inside, you guessed it, was a sock. Inside that, a foot. The shoe was manufactured in 1999. They found the second shoe to this pair in 2011 in British Columbia, and they identified it as a woman who jumped from the Patullo Bridge in 2004.
Okay, I figured it out. There's a fish, right? And he just keeps swimming up to his buddy and he's like, dude, I'm going to do another one. Watch, they're going to freak out. They're going to fucking freak out.
In August of 2008, a very good year for severed foot discovery, it seems.
I feel like we define good very differently in this story. 0 would be good on my end.
A man's black size 11 shoe washed up on a beach. A lucky camper found this one and it was covered in seaweed.
Okay, why are people going over to investigate loose shoes. What the fuck is happening in your life that you're like, I'm checking that out. I must know.
Size 11 black Reebok. Oh, wow.
I'm missing one of these. Anyway, the reports seem to indicate that this shoe is probably from Canada and then set sail into the Salish Sea. My favorite line from this entry is, quote, testing confirmed that the foot was human. End quote.
So dude at the lab like, what were you trying to rule out, Ernie?
You know what? Fuck you, Wikipedia. I just tagged that shit citation needed. You say stupid shit, I'm gonna make you prove it, wiki nerds. I am the sea lion of your website.
Next up, a man's white and blue size 9 runner was found in August of 2011. The man's shoe was the first they mentioned that had a leg attached up to the knee.
That's exciting.
I guess all these thus far had disarticulated at the ankle. They suspected that this disarticulation occurred naturally due to the water.
I'm sorry, naturally? Like, if you stay in the bath too long, your foot falls off? Is that a thing that I don't know about?
The hiker who finds it was like, knee attached, not ripe yet. Throws it back. There's more time.
There's got to be a cop up there who's like trying to figure this out, and he's like, up to the knee. He's got like a pegboard with yarn and push pins. There's one picture. What? This doesn't make sense.
In November of 2011, a size 12 right foot hiking boot was found with a foot inside. It was discovered in a freshwater lake just off the Strait of Georgia. They were able to determine that the boot and the foot belonged to a local fisherman who, get this, went missing 24 years earlier in 1987. The wiki says, quote, police believe that the foot separated naturally from the body and do not suspect foul play, end quote.
Naturally. Separated. The breakup wasn't anyone's fault. Sometimes you just fall out of love with your foot. I'm a police officer.
It was mutual.
It was first it was a trial separation, and then we got back together.
Foot never calls anymore. It's like a whole thing.
The next month in December, in Lake Union in Seattle, a foot with a leg bone attached was found in a black plastic bag under a bridge. They couldn't figure out what the cause of death or who it belonged to, and I'm going to throw out a wild guess here, and that it wasn't a terrible sack race mishap. So,
We, the police, have decided this was a natural foot removal again.
Help! I'm being murdered by a murderer right now.
Nobody look. Perfectly natural things happening.
This is suspicious.
Nothing to see here. Then lots of my relatives die and rot in the ocean naturally. Cecil, any more totally not foul play involved floaters? Normal. Just throw grandma in the water. Fuck it.
a month later in January at the Waterline in a dog park in Vancouver, quote, the remains of what appears to be human bones inside of boot were discovered, end quote. I suspect they have to rule out other bones at a dog park. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it could be any boot-wearing mammal at this point.
I just want to stuff some dinosaur bones into a boot and throw it in Puget Sound and fuck with these guys.
So now we go almost 2 years without any reported detached feet until a foot in a white New Balance size 10.5 men's shoe was discovered in Seattle along the shoreline. It was found in May of 2014, and this model of shoe was available for sale in 2008.
For fuck's sake, we got to start reading these things like goddamn tea leaves at this point. Like white New Balance, Velcro. I see a ceiling fan and extension cord in your future.
Oh, wow. I mean, I feel like at this point, though, there's got to be at least some people chopping off their feet and tossing them at Puget Sound just to fit in. Once the trend gets going.
A pair of shoes with the feet inside were found a week apart 2 years later in February of 2016. They were both found on Vancouver Island, and the coroner confirmed the match. In May of 2018, a man walking along Gabriola Island found a hiking boot with a foot inside a logjam.
Okay, everybody, maybe we just stop hiking around here, huh? We're all just going to find another hiking spot, okay?
And that fucking guy with the metal detector that hasn't found a single thing other than the cure for getting the fuck away from his wife is just chuckling to himself like, well, at least I never found a foot.
what's this condom in a bunch of seaweed over here? I will investigate further. Ah, a penis. Like, how is this happening to people? Do you guys, does this taste like human cum? Does this, let's take it to the lab. The fuck is happening?
These discoveries keep on keeping on too. In January of this year, they found the remains of a foot in a boot in Everett, Washington. They did a DNA test and found it belonged to a man that had gone missing 2 years earlier.
I feel like belonged to the dude is basically the same as was the dude in this instance, but okay.
Okay. No, that's fine. The number of found feet was described as astounding and beyond explanation. But it was described like that when they had only found 5 feet in 2008. The article says, quote, finding 2 feet has been given 1,000,000 to 1 odds and has thus been described as an anomaly.
Well, 2 of the same guy.
Yeah.
That's higher.
The finding of the 3rd foot made it for the first time. 3 such discoveries had been made so close to each other. The 4th discovery caused speculation about human interference and statistically was called curious, end quote.
How are we calculating these odds?
Yeah, right?
1 over how many things could wash up on shore multiplied by 1 over how many body parts we have? What's he doing here?
No, that's not how they're calculating it.
That one out.
That's definitely not it.
That's how I would do
Well,
it.
they got to have a metric for this. Like, guys, this is like 22 rubber ducks and a Lego worth of weird here. This is
I like that they had different names. Like, I want to see their statistics scale. Like, okay, move the needle further. Nope. Yeah, all the way to curious. You got it. All right. Curious.
So it's hard to determine where these feet have come from because if you remember from earlier in the show, we talked about all kinds of things that wind up in the sea and drift half a world away. Decomposing human feet also produce a soap-like substance from body fat called adipocere, which thwarts forensic experts because it makes it harder for them to identify any clues. And don't Google adipocere, by the way. Just
soap-like.
keep that.
Thank you, Cecil. Soap-like.
No, soap-like. You cannot keep a skull in our shared bathroom.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right, Heath. You don't like it, but that's not the same as can't.
2 votes.
Different word.
2 to 1.
Also, the article says that the human body can remain in the water intact for 30 years. So using the shoes to determine the age is really sometimes the only thing they have to go on. And while hands and feet do commonly decompose and disarticulate from the body in water, they normally don't float. It's suspected that the shoes have a bit of air in them, and that's what's carrying these feet off like a message in a bottle.
I am 100% going to write notes in all of my shoes blaming different people for my murder. Like, if you find this shoe, then I am dead. Like, I'm just going to be, fuck them all.
One interesting theory on where these feet originated is that they may have come from the Asian tsunami in December of 2004. Many of the shoes were sold in 2004 or earlier, and the ocean currents have a northward tendency from that part of the world. So it could be that some of these shoes were from a disaster across the Pacific.
well, except that we identified a bunch of them as like, you know, dude who was in this woods and then died. I feel like a theory that explains some of the disarticulated feet creates more questions than it answers. Right?
I say one interesting thing and Noah shits on it. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it.
Next time, say 2 interesting things.
Make a note of
That's
that.
a lot
That's
for
rough.
one essay, man. You've been limiting yourself to 0 every essay. So
I don't want to get shit on.
All right, Cecil, if you had to summarize what you've learned in one sentence, bud, what would it be?
walk on the ocean, step on the stones, flesh becomes water, wood becomes bone. Toad the wet sprocket killed all those people, guys. That's case closed.
All right, Cecil, are you ready to stomp some sense into the panel and kick off the quiz?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Cecil, it's obvious that the Salish Sea needs some of the TV movie treatment. What should the TV show / movie about this phenomenon be called? A. Footloose. B. Toe the line. C. This is where I start stretching. Get ready. Feet the parents.
Yes. No.
What? Just no.
D. Heel monsters.
What?
There's a,
I don't even get that.
there's a Nicktoon from the 90s.
Nobody got
Oh
that.
my
Nobody got
God.
that.
Someone in my generation is like, what?
No, they're not.
I don't even
No,
think they're impressed with
Chupacabra.
I'm gonna go with secret answer E. Soul Man 2 Arch Enemies. I think that's
That is correct.
All right, this is obviously the right question at this point. Cecil, what's the solution to this great mystery? A, the cobbler's assistant misunderstood I need 20 feet of shoe leather in the most tragic of ways. B, after a long day of hiking by the sea, sometimes you just don't have it in you to untie both shoes. C, Sasquatches also sometimes make fake human footprints, but they're way more hardcore about it. Or D, you've been planning this episode for a while.
I'm going to change the subject on D there, and I'm going to go with A. And for the record, foot cobbler is the worst cobbler flavor. Just want to point that out.
Well, Andrew told me to say that you were right, that it is. Yeah. Correct.
False. Skyline chili is the worst flavor of cobbler.
Actually, that stuff would probably taste pretty good with a streusel topping.
All right. Shit. Well, if I were a better man, I would maybe rewrite a tongue twister about finding things down by the seashore and do it like a hilarious way that combines a well-known verse with some kind of fun verbal puns and linguistic trickery, and maybe even weave in a diabetes joke for good measure. But I won't be doing any of that. Why not? A, I'm not that cleaver.
That's a pun there. Secret answer B, Felix found Felicity's forsaken foot and falsely confused it for flotsam.
Good. Okay, I'm supposed to win, but your answer was amazing, but I still win because that's how the show works. So I get to torture Eli next. Eli, you're up, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, well, for Heath, Cecil, and Eli,
I did make it, Tom.
I stand by what I said. For Heath, Cecil, and Eli, I'm Tom. Thanking you for hanging out with us today. No, it doesn't count. We'll be back next week. And by then, Eli will have completed his Mueller report of lies. Between now and then, you can find all of our other products by heading over to citationpod.com. But remember, nothing worthwhile is free, especially love. So if you love the show and you'd like to help keep it going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod. And also leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can, including the bathroom wall. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com. Just like a sorority house of hojos. Just
Please stop.
Like
Please stop.
midnight tag for your meat hawk.
You guys are fired.